Just suppose buying and managing, finding all this complicated online technology and all the stuff that you need to be able to put your business online these days. I suppose that were as easy to manage as, for example, buying a new Nespresso machine. It kind of sounds like a big promise, but you know that you need to protect and manage your business online. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do. I'm a business owner and I know that there's just too much to do, quite frankly. So you can make all that stuff much, much easier. It can be less hassle, less expensive, less time consuming, and far more productive than it is for virtually every family-owned business. And that's what I'd like to talk to you about. Now, most times these kinds of promises are very overblown, very overhyped, and you probably, like most of us, have had your fingers burned and have had a sour taste in your mouth after working with some of these technologies and some of the vendors and some of the promises that people make. And you'd be absolutely within your rights and you'd be forgiven for thinking that this was exactly the same. But the problem is that there are so many people pitching so many ideas. There's so much noise, it's almost impossible to cut through the noise and to figure out what really is worth doing and what's not. And if you're like me, you own a business, then how the hell do you find the time to get across things like SEO and local listings and AdWords and all that palaver? How do you find the right tools to be able to use? There are so many. How do you find people to work with that you can trust and that will point you in the right direction rather than in any old direction that suits them at any particular time? Well, it's a conundrum. It's a difficult situation to find the tools, the technologies, the understanding, the people to work with. It's a big, big challenge. That's what I'd like to talk to you about, because that's what my business is setting out to do. The truth is, I've been in a professional business development person for a long time in all sorts of technology areas, and always in business, matching business needs with technology. And I learned a long time ago that business owners and drivers don't really get technology, and techies don't really get business. There has to be someone who will bridge the gap, who will put the two together, and I've made a living doing that for the last 30 or so years. My focus now is family businesses, helping ordinary family businesses, small, medium and large, to be able to put their interests, their business on the shoulders of giants, so to speak, because that can be done these days. There are so many ways that you can build your business, so many ways that you can leverage other people's investment, that really it is difficult to cut through the smoke and the mirrors and the fog and the snow. Well, bear with me a little while and I will show you exactly how you can achieve that, no matter what type of business you're in, no matter what stage of business that you're at, and no matter what particular service or sets of services you need. This is unique, at least as far as I'm aware, this is unique. The business that we're putting together now, I don't think has ever been done before, not in this form and this format, which is built by business owners for business owners, and which leverages a heck of a lot of expertise, insights, close relationships with people who can really make a difference. And that's where we're heading. It's early days yet, but if you will, allow me to tell you a little bit more about exactly what I'm talking about and exactly what we have to offer and who is backing that. Because until you know that, you can't really say yes or no. Now, I know some people will be cynical and probably will have stopped watching this video by now, and that's fine. That's okay, I understand that. Been there, done that. But let's move on together and see if we can help each other. Because at the end of the day, business is about people. People is about family. And family is about helping one another and making the world a little bit of a better place while still making a living, rather than going out on a rape, pillage and burn type of an approach. I hope you'll come along this little journey with me, and I hope that it will be the beginning of something that is beneficial and ultimately profitable. And that must just being profitable in terms of the money that you can make, the extra customers that you can generate, profitable in terms of the satisfaction of life that you get from being able to manage a business and customer relationships in a more meaningful, more streamlined and just an easier fashion. Now, I'm just out walking my dog right now, and that's why the sun is all over the place. This is not a professional video. This is the first video that I ever shot for this new business. I'm very fortunate to live in Sydney, Australia. This is the kind of place that we walk the dog just over the road from where I live. Just before we get back to the office, I'm going back to my home office. Like most of us these days with COVID and whatever, I'm stuck at home too much of the time. But I just want to very quickly smash a myth that you may well be a victim of, and that is that marketing your business online successfully requires that you get a website, you do some SEO, you pay for some AdWords. That's kind of the basic recipe that so many people work through, and that can in some instances work. I've worked with law firms, for example, that build their entire business on Google AdWords, and that is a precarious business, as you'll see if you stick with us for a little while. But it's a myth. Building a website is not the first thing you need to do. Investing in SEO is by no means the first thing you need to do. And paying for AdWords, well, there's a right way and a wrong way to use AdWords. It can be a useful business development tool, but the way that most people do it, it's very satisfying for Google. People jump in, they're not experts, they pump up the prices, they spend a lot of money. If they're lucky, they get frustrated, or if Google's lucky, they get frustrated and allow Google to take over their accounts. And Google is probably the worst people, or at least one of the worst people you can have managing a PPC account. But let's put that to one side. There are things that are far more important, far more beneficial, and things that you should be done first before setting up your website, your SEO, your AdWords. And there are tactics and strategies that are cheaper, easier, more cost effective, and most of all are essential. There are a few things you need to do before you invest too much time and money in the website, in SEO, in AdWords, or anything else. We're going to come to that in a little while.